Hello everyone, my name is Gail Reyes Galang and welcome to our peaceful classroom. Our Peaceful Classroom is a dedicated space where parents, educators, and other professionals come together to talk about ideas on how we may promote positivity and peace in the lives of our children and our teens. As we begin 2021, we would like to be able to start the year right. So today we will have a discussion and we will be joined by the entire group behind our Peaceful Classroom. We have with us Mr. Gilby Sardea, Ms. Sofia Garcia or Soda, and Ms. Mirma Tika Ortiz. So let's begin the discussion on 9 tips on how to break free from negativity this 2021. Hi guys.
Hi, Dr. Gail. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Gail. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Okay. So it's 2021 very, very soon, and we all want to do our best to begin the year right. So let's look into habits, behaviors that we would want to keep for 2021, and also reflect on those which are really not helpful for us. And maybe by this reminder, we will learn something or relearn or unlearn things that we want to keep in mind. So here are 9 tips on how to break free from negativity. And each tip begins with the letters of break free. So it's BREAKFREE. Okay, so let's just have a formal discussion and let's just enjoy these tips. Okay, tip number 1. Okay, tip number 1 is be healthy. And under being healthy means adequate sleep, eating healthy, having moderate exercise, hydration, and good hygiene. Okay, let's talk about adequate sleep. How's sleep for everyone these days? Nakakatulog ba kayo because of all the preparations for Christmas?
You know,
Kamusta?
yeah, Dr. Gail, I really try to have at least 7 hours of sleep every day. But as the holiday season, is approaching, or Christmas Day is approaching, it's been quite difficult with all the preparations that we have to make. But yes, to adequate sleep, I think this will help us feel refreshed and also help us have a productive day when we have adequate sleep. But it is something that I'm working on.
Okay, that's good to know. What time do you usually sleep, Mirma?
I usually sleep at around 11 or 12. So that's my sleeping time.
And what time do you wake up?
I wake up at around 7:30 each day.
So that's about 6 or 7 hours of sleep.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, very typical of many people to have only about 5 to 6 hours of sleep these days. Okay, how about you, Soda?
Hi, Dr. Gail. Well, I agree with Miss Mirma as well that I'm still working on my sleeping schedule. Ever since the pandemic happened, and plus the holiday season is coming up, or was coming up in the previous year, I sleep at around past 1 a.m. Like last night, I slept at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep. I don't know. There are lots of thoughts in my mind.
Okay, so what would be the reasons why you'd sleep that late? What have you been doing that's occupying your nightlife?
Well, like my fellow millennials, I watch K-drama, so that keeps me up at night. And I think it's a good thing because, it's like a reward system on my end, like after a long day at work or like being productive for most of the time. I that's like my me time, but I know that I have to work on my sleeping schedule too, because sometimes I wake up like exhausted, or I start my day after lunch. So
So what
yeah,
time do you wake up the following day?
around 9:30 a.m. or 10 a.m.
Okay, so that's about 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
Okay, but of course, our research will tell us that the window of good sleep happens between 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. And that's where your um, cells get rejuvenated. That's when it receives the oxygen that it needs to function well. Okay.
Yes, Dr. Gail. I
How
agree.
about Jilbies? What time do you
Hi,
sleep
Dr.
at
Gill.
night?
At night, we sleep at around, we try to sleep at around 9 p.m. because we have a toddler. So we are trying to train her to sleep early. Of course, as parents, we have to be good examples. So we try as much as we can to sleep by 9 p.m. But sometimes 10, around 10. And I wake up usually early po. So if I have work, I have lots of work, I wake up at 3 a.m., especially if I'm editing.
That explains the early messages we get from
Yes,
Director
if I'm
Rose.
editing the episode, I wake up at 3 a.m. But if I don't have much work, I try to wake up at around 4 or 5 a.m. So
Yes, that's right.
that's my working time in the early in the morning. So I really have to sleep at night early, but I also take naps in between the afternoon because again our daughter takes naps, so we also try as much as we can to take naps in between the day.
Yes. And it's good that you mentioned also the need of children for adequate sleep because it's different for them. They need longer hours of sleep. So for children, it would be about 9 to 11 hours of sleep. Okay. And for us adults, we would get by with about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Okay. And it's difficult, really, especially now that it's the holidays, because we tend to be very busy in the daytime. And our kids are also busy either studying or being with their friends in the daytime, that it's only in the nighttime where we really get to bond with family, to watch something together. And it's so common in our household that we sleep at about 12 midnight or 1, which makes my growing boys really wake up really late the following day. So what happens, moving on to health, eating right, um, the brunch, breakfast and lunch usually meet, and they're not able to eat healthily because what they have for lunch is breakfast food, and that's usually processed food. So, how are we eating well? Are we eating well? That's the question. Many people are sending in gifts, and most of them are sweets. And we don't know in 2021 if we should continue with that habit of having a lot of sweets. So, how's your eating habits?
For me, Dr. Gill, I think one thing that is evident, well, one I think bad habit that I try to try to get rid of being home all day is that we don't consume a lot of fast food anymore because we're not able to always go out and buy fast food. So I think that's one positive thing that the pandemic has brought to our family. And we try to always cook our own food. So we try to make everything from scratch, from pasta. We hardly buy processed pasta now when we make it at home. So just, and even bread as well. So those are the things that we want to continue as a family, to try to eat less processed food.
Yes. And that's good for you because you guys can cook really well. So what happens here is that sometimes the kids really get tempted to do things online, to call for delivery because they
Mhm.
get tired of what we cook. Okay, Soda.
Well, on my end, Dr. Gill, like before the pandemic, my eating habits are like so bad because like I like milk tea, I like Starbucks like every day, just to keep us going. But now, I have limited time to go out, and I haven't tasted milk tea for a long time. So that's, I think, good thing. And instead of having Starbucks now, I go with tea. So I drink tea in the morning, also in the evening, and so far I like it. Like I feel lighter.
So is that a
I,
habit that you're going to take with you in 2021?
yes, definitely. So I'm team tea now, not caramel macchiato from Starbucks. And of course, like the fast food as well. We rarely get fast food or takeout because yeah, we also cook meals here, and it's like a big step as well. Like before the pandemic, we would, the fast food is always our friend because we're too lazy to
Because it's
cook.
very convenient.
Exactly. But now, yeah, we're eating more healthier
And
foods.
it saves us a lot of money too, right?
True. Yes.
The more we cook at home, that's what I realized also, how much money we were saving from just cooking at home.
True. So, yay. It's a
Okay.
plus.
How about
And
in
with this,
Jilby's
and same with
household?
Miss Mirma, we cook at home, but we try as much as we can to eat healthier. But the problem sometimes is the menu, the variety of
Yeah, it's
food.
hard to think of a menu.
Yes, for
Paulit-ulit.
lunch and dinner especially. So that's what we're trying to do, make a list for the months, the coming days. And also, when we go to the market, of course, we have to set the menu of our
Yeah.
food so that when we buy in the grocery or in the market, it's just
What
those
you need.
ingredients that we need.
Yes.
Yeah, what
No, that's true also. If I may add, planning your menu is key to how fast you are also in the grocery. So, making a list of the things that you want to cook throughout the 2 weeks and sticking to that list. So, I think it also helps you become more organized, I guess, as a person.
Okay, so 2021, we have to continue to eat healthy. Maybe lessen, I call them the C's. Lessen cookies, cakes,
Candies.
candies, the carbohydrates, that's the bad ones.
Yeah.
But because we also need our carbs. And then what else? Yeah, those C's. Coke.
Coke. Coke Zero.
Okay, so let's remember that. Okay, now, moderate exercise. Are you able to exercise more because you're home? Jill Bees, you're saying that,
No,
no, why?
no.
Too
Our only
busy?
exercise is recently we try to, since we I wake up early. I try to wake my wife and my daughter early also at around 5, and we go for a walk
Mm.
around the
Mm.
subdivision. So around
Oh,
5:30 a.m. we go for a walk as a family. So until around 6
Well,
6:30
that's nice.
a.m.
Nice and
So
yeah.
cool
that's
outside.
our only exercise.
Nice. Okay, and that's about how long of a walk is that?
Sometimes it's 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay, I guess that's good time because I think every day the advice is to get at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise.
Yeah.
So you're on the right track.
Sometimes,
Okay.
miss, if we don't have walks because it's raining, we just watch on TV or on in the internet. We watch some exercise videos, dance videos,
Yes,
and
and
try
just
to
follow
copy
along.
that.
Oh, that's nice. And it's a great bonding experience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I do gardening outside, so that would be by exercise, watering the plants, caring for our little vegetable garden. And then I also play with my son. So
Yes.
that's my exercise. So we have a lot of like dancing, following like Direct Gilbies. we follow this YouTube video, and then it teaches young kids how to do yoga. So that's our little exercise.
Yes, actually, when you do your chores, um, you will, and if you have a watch, a smart watch that tells you how many steps you've done, maybe you'd go. It would be in between 5,000 to 10,000, and I think that's very healthy compared to the time that we were always seated in our
Yes,
desks.
that's right.
Now that because you also have chores at home aside from your work from home, you really need to move.
Yes.
But at 5 to 6 p.m., Soda and I have a sacred time for moderate exercise. Soda, can you tell us about our group
Yes.
exercise online?
Yes, so Dr. Gail and I are enrolled under Coach Joseph Jubilado's class, who's also a former coach at the ELO Center at Miriam College. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have a high intensity interval training class from 5 to 6 p.m. wherein we do different types of workout from cardio to weights to like working on our cores. So that's our sacred time, and Dr. Gail and I attend that class. And actually, if I may add, losing weight is the biggest change that I've achieved this year, and I hope that I will continue that in the coming years. So, yay, yes to weight
Yeah,
loss
it's
and
a
exercise.
it's a good feeling to see good effects in our weight loss journey. So
Yes.
I started with, I think I was nearly 60 kilos, but now I'm down to 53.
Yes. So,
Okay, so that's good for us. Okay, hydration. So this is just fast. Like how many glasses of water do you take in a day?
What is 1 liter? How much is that? But for me, it's like a liter of water or a liter or more.
So one bottle like that,
Yeah,
one
one big
jug.
bottle. Yeah, one jug.
Okay,
same with
is that
me.
enough for you?
No, I that's the goal. But the uh
Reality,
the reality is, I can medyo konti. I mean, like, I don't consume
yeah.
the entire thing, the entire jug, but that's the goal.
Okay. How about the others?
Me around like 2 liters, especially when we work out, Dr. Gil, we
That's
consume
good
a
for
lot of
you.
water. But yeah, as much as possible, I drink more
But
than
sometimes we
a
really have to
liter.
be reminded to drink, right? They go, okay,
Yes,
guys.
drink your water. True.
Oh, Jilbis, are you able to drink a lot of water?
Yes, miss. I try every meal. I try as much as um 4, 5 glasses every
Per
meal
meal?
and in between as well.
That's good. That's good for you. Okay. So I guess it would depend. It's not the same for every person because it has also to do with maybe your level of activity. So if you keep on moving, the more water you need. But I guess if you feel thirsty, that is already a sign that you are dehydrated. Okay. And yeah, so we need a lot of water. Okay, finally, good hygiene. And it's something that we should all remember because we are in this pandemic. So, good hygiene means that we should always wash our hands. And, when you get something from the delivery, you always wash your hands, even if you're just at home or if you go out, use the ATM. And always you wear your mask or your shield. And what else have you been doing? Of course, if you're meeting people, whether you're so used to them or not, it would always be good to have that physical distance. Okay, so that's just a reminder. So, okay, we're just in B and we still have 8 more, but the others are just really quick and easy. So let's go to the next one. The next one is rest your mind, and this has something to do with our intellectual wellness. So, if the first one was on our physical health and well being, rest your mind has something to do with our intellectual well being. And it says here a suggestion would be to have a gadget detox and to turn off all our notifications, turn off all the notifications. Maybe that's not practical because I know there are some people who get more stressed if they don't visit their phones once in a while. So, what would be a good balance for this one?
For me, Dr. Gail, what I try to do, there's an hour or period in the day where I don't check my phone anymore. And that's really just for us to rest our mind and just focusing on our, inner thoughts. So that's usually my time also with my son, Mikael. So that's a time where no more gadgets for all of us in the family, and we're just in our room playing.
Okay, that's good. So, just like schedule maybe the time that you will be checking your phone for messages. Okay, how about the others?
At night, miss, we try as much as we can to not use the phones anymore. So we try. So, but of course, we're also training Diana also that she doesn't, if she can't use the gadgets anymore when we're in the bedroom. So that's one tip that I want to share because that's what we do. So no more gadgets when we're in the bedroom, so that she could also sleep
Yes. No
immediately
gadgets in the
because if
bedroom is a
there's
good
gadget,
idea. Maybe just have a dedicated space in your house where all the laptops, iPads would be there for them to use for school or for gaming or talking with their friends. Okay, let's ask the millennial.
Well, since millennials are always connected 24/7, it's a challenge for us. So to the millennials out there, we have to work on it. But when it comes to gadget detox or turning off notifications, I usually turn it off when I work out. So when I have my me time, I turn off my notifications. And in our gadgets, we have the do not disturb button. So I turn that on. And then at night, when I start watching my K drama, I turn it off and I put my phone on airplane mode.
And
But
unless you have people that you're like watching with.
yeah, and one funny thing is that I have two phones now, so I ensure that I turn off notifications when for both, so I can have my me time. But there it's already been a habit for me. Before I sleep, I also check my emails, but it's also being disciplined on knowing when to reply. I think that's very important. If the reply can wait in the morning, or there's like a feature also in the email of scheduling when to send. So I write the email in the evening, but I set it to around 8 a.m. so that the person would receive it the next day. So I think all these
Yes.
gadget upgrades are beneficial as well in balancing our time for like in resting our minds. Yeah.
Yes, and it's good also to be very considerate of other people's time. And it's good that in our own work email, we have that while it suits me to write this email at this time, you don't have to reply unless it suits you as well. But of course, there are people who are obsessive compulsive. When they see something, they feel the need to reply.
That
And
used to
so
be
it
me.
never stops. And if you're the type of person who has like who treats your inbox like the to-do list, you really want to be able to delete everything. And by the time you delete the last part, there goes another set of things to do. So I think you really have to know that it will never end. And so you just have to
Agree.
really take care of yourself in that regard. Um, Also, I think we have many chat groups in our Viber and Messenger. I've learned to put on silent for 30 days those whom I'm not really expected to participate in or to reply. But if I have the time, then I scroll down and see what's going on there. But if not, I don't really feel guilty about it. Okay? So the challenge really is for kids, and they have to see us as good examples. But how can you tell them to stop using their phones if you yourselves are attached to the phone? Okay, so rest your mind. And the next one would be engage intentionally. So when you do something, are you doing something because it nourishes your spirit, or are you just doing it because it's out of obligation? So it says here that some tips would be to surround yourself with positive people, to mute negative people, and to go for meaningful gifts. Okay, not only during Christmas, but because lately in the pandemic, we like giving gifts to people just to show our appreciation and all. So, in doing that, we have to ask, are we doing it because it makes us happy as well? Or are we doing it out of obligation? So, this being intentional, engaging intentionally, do you find that easier these days that you're engaging intentionally with others?
Well, for me, yes, because I think one of the challenges in this pandemic is, sometimes our mental health is also at stake. So having positive people to surround you with, like a solid support group, like our club, the OPC club or the cocktail club, I think it's a good support system because it also helps us relax. Well, for me personally, whenever I record for an episode, whenever I read the chapters of our speakers, I also get to reflect and also apply this in my everyday life, which is also a good thing. And that's why I don't see what I'm doing as work, because at the end of the day, it also benefits me and it also helps other people. So yeah, yes to engaging intentionally that nourishes
Are
our
you able
spirit.
to surround yourself with positive people like yourself?
Yes, here in our place, well, my family is like a source of sunshine. I also have my cousins with me and my friends. We have like kamustahan sessions as well. Um, yeah, it uplifts my spirit despite the challenging times we're facing in 2019, 2020. Oh my gosh, I lost time. But
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, that's good that you're able to surround yourself with people who enrich you also emotionally. Okay, Mirma?
Yeah, for me, I think this is a learning for me this year. Engaging intentionally, like Soda. Now that we're home, most of the time we have this blessing to spend a lot of time with our family. So that's a big plus. And I think being home most of the time, it's easier for us to veer away from negativity and negative people in general, because it's our choice if we are going to engage with them on the social media platforms that we have. So, and it's also easier to maybe block, I mean, not block, but like mute negative feed on your Facebook pages. If you don't feel comfortable, engaging with someone, you don't have to. And that's actually a blessing that I have seen, because it has protected me as an individual, and has also helped me hone my inner peace as an individual as well.
Okay, yes, that's right. Because if you engage with very negative people, they tend to be emotional vampires,
Yeah.
and at one point you're really happy and you're doing things out of your choice and love and passion, but when you engage with these people, it suddenly makes you feel tired.
Yeah, that's right.
So and then
Or
everything becomes like work, so it's really
yeah.
best to be with positive people. Yes, Sir Jilbies?
Yes, I'd like to share that I have a weekly group, a small group, where we study the Bible. So that's one thing that has helped us, me and my wife, get through this pandemic. And you really have to set that time off with people who are positive so that you'll be able to rejuvenate spiritually as well, because that's very important. So for you to be able to give that positivity out to other people, you have to get it also from the people that you surround yourself with. So that's what I do. We really make time to be with people. And one more thing, when I edit our episodes, I really, since it's in the morning, I get to reflect. Also, the sharing of our guests. So whenever I watch that, so I get to reflect as well, like what Soda say. She's reading it, but me, I'm watching it, and I'll be watching it over and over. So it really echoes to me what they're saying. So that's one good practice
So
for
I think
me.
the greatest benefit of our peaceful classroom will be on ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, hold on. So this would be about our um, emotional wellness, okay, and
Yeah.
also attached to our social well-being, that we are able to surround ourselves with people who radiate positivity. We have to be careful with our groups, because there could be groups where you can be close to, but if you examine the kind of discussions you have, it's negative. They're talking about people in a negative way, and you don't want to be associated, or you don't want to be in that kind of group. You want to be with people who really see the good things in others as well, right? Okay, so let's move to the next one. Okay, this one is, it says ask for help or help others. And under this would be to talk to a friend about problems if you have any problems. So still connected to our social connectedness. See a doctor or a counselor if you feel you need more than just psychological first aid. And but what really helps also would be to give back to others. You know, by sharing with others, you are also you also feel happy. The good effect is also, it bounces back on you. Okay. So what do you think of this? Do you have friends who you're able to talk with? If they come to you, are you able to give them psychological first aid? And what are the other things that you do these days where you're able to offer help to others?
Like what Sir Gilby said earlier, I think, having that click group, like for Sir Gilby's, he has his Bible study group. For my group, we have what we call the crazy bunch. So this crazy bunch, we're just a crazy bunch of people coming together, and this includes like my childhood best friends, my siblings as well. We have this group where we share each other's challenges, the challenges that was brought to us by 2020. But we also share with each other like our prayer requests and words of encouragement, knowing that although we can't see each other face to face, we know that this crazy bunch is there to support us. And it's been a very instrumental group for me throughout this pandemic, a reminder that you know the God has allowed us to pass through this dark time, not because he doesn't love us, but because he wants to prove to us that he is faithful and true, even in our darkest moments or in the most challenging time of our life.
Well, on my end, I've mentioned this a while ago. Like one of the ways that I also relax is we have like hangout sessions with my friends, so my college friends and one of my high school friends. We catch up, so sometimes over a drink, or we have a listening party because we're both BTS fans. So it's also a way to relax. Dance like, even if we're online, and we share each other's like how are we. And there was one time as well when my close friend and I went on a drive to the north while the pandemic, but we followed protocols. So we didn't, yeah, so we just went on a drive for half a day, and it was really refreshing. So yes, and in terms of giving back, there are a lot of opportunities that we are able to give back. For example, in Miriam, when the typhoon hit NCR, there was a call for donations, and so I didn't think twice in donating to the employees who were greatly affected. So those are some of the things that I've done so far.
That's good for you, Soda. And we realize that it's not in the number of friends, right? Or not in the number of likes where you feel happy. Um, but it's really having that one or two close friends that you can confide with if you're having a bad day.
Right.
And it's also great if you have that within your household, like if you could talk to your spouse or your kids, if there are really cloudy days. And sometimes they just listen and you feel good already. Yep, Derek Chilbees. Yep, you're muted.
Aside from having a Bible study group, I also, when I scroll on Facebook, I have my previous students there. So if I see something off with their posts, I try to intentionally message them and ask for their prayer requests if I could pray for them. And I write that in a notebook so that I will be reminded. And this vacation, this Christmas break, I'm going to follow through on them, on how they are, what's going on with them, because there are lots of things that happen really these past months. So I try to put that in a small notebook, and I plan to follow them up, follow through, and that's my way of giving back, because there are people who also call me then and pray for me. So that's what I would want to do as well to other people.
That's a very nice tip, and sometimes people don't realize that a lot of people care for them, or that a lot of people really are concerned about them. And if they realize that you're taking special interest on them, that is an immediate um, emotional, you know, lifter of spirit. Okay, so that's good. And also giving back, especially to those who are not expecting it, or those who cannot do anything in return. I think that somehow is the best also. Okay, but yes, after talking to people and you see that they may require additional help, then you should be able to point them out to either doctors or counselors who can help them professionally. Okay, so that's A, ask for help and help others. Now let's see, what are other things that we want to bring with us in 2021? So this is something that's also connected to our intellectual well-being. It's knowing when to stop. So knowing when to stop overthinking. We tend to overthink, maybe because we are at home and that is the effect of it, and we really don't see people face to face. So sometimes we misread people's behavior or non-behavior, and we kind of think what's going on, or something. Probably we fail to do something, and then we replay, we ruminate. That's why it says here, stop ruminating. Something that we were not able to do well, and we keep replaying it, keep rewinding to it, and punishing ourselves in that process. And the next one would be to stop overextending. Well, this would, we are on a break, so I think it's good to have permission, really, to allow ourselves to take that break. Okay, so what can you say about overthinking, ruminating, and overextending? Do you do a lot of these things?
I'm guilt. I could resonate the most with overthinking. Because at night, which also keeps me up. Like I think of a lot of scenarios, like the fear of uncertainty of what will happen next year. What with a lot of things happening in our society. So how will our future look like? Like me personally, I'm having like a new chapter next year, so I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I'll be away from my family. How will I cope with that? How do I prepare for all of these things? So I think yeah, these things haunt me at night, but I try to stop myself, because as what my mom would always say, will that happen? If you don't let it happen, it will not happen. So I also keep that in mind.
So that is like a kind of distorted way of thinking, having the what if scenarios. Okay, another distorted way of thinking is like fortune telling, like this is going to happen. Okay, it's like having a crystal ball and you're already trying to jump ahead, and of course that will give us anxiety. Okay, Mirma.
Yes, I am an overthinker as well. I think that was developed when I became a mother and this pandemic. So now at the beginning of the pandemic, I was overthinking everything, like every particular scenario, planning ahead, and it was really causing me so much anxiety and sleepless nights. There would be days that go to bed when the sun was already up because I was, so worried about my family, my husband, my mom, my toddler, and everyone else in my family. But what what I found helpful was that our sessions, our episodes, reading through the chapters of the different guests that we have had, and realizing that, hey, you got to stop what you're doing. This is not good for you. And being reminded of that helped me, control my tendencies to overthink. And when you say stop ruminating, sometimes I play scenarios in my head over and over that, oh my gosh, that was such a stupid move, or that was such a dumb move. Like, why did you do that? Or why did you say that? Especially now that we're working from home and there's no one to like consult, like, hey, Dr. Gail, la 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 la, unlike when we were in one office. But I had to stop doing that, and I had to just chill out for a bit and breathe, literally just breathe, so that I could just calm my mind and my inner thoughts. Because what I found out was that when I do that, when I play that scenario, I tend to overextend my effort so that I could erase that part. Like I could make myself feel better. So yes, stop overextending because it's tiresome, and it's tiresome physically and also mentally. And I actually suffered the hard way because I got sick from it. I don't know if you all recall, but back in September, I got sick for like an entire week. And I didn't have the virus, I didn't have anything, I didn't have an infection. It was just because I overextended myself and I was just doing so much all at one time.
Yes, anxiety makes us overthink, and of course it's not healthy to do that. Attached to it would be I should have done this, or I the shoulds and the haves. Okay, so there's also a lot of emotions attached to our thinking. That's why we tend to overthink. Sir Gilbis, how are you? Are you able to take
Um,
that pause?
Yes, miss. I try to practice that, but at the beginning of the pandemic, we like what Soda and Miss Mirma shared. There are a lot of things in our mind. Of course, the uncertainties that adds to the anxiety. But it's a good. I'm blessed to have a partner, a wife, who supports me, who tells me to stop, and in turn, that's what I also try to do when she also overthinks or overextends. I try to remind her. So that's one good thing, to find someone, a person who will help you also, who will be accountable to you, to tell you when and when not to stop. Because sometimes it's hard for us to identify that time when it's time to stop. So it's good for me that I'm blessed to have a wife who tells me that, babe, stop. So that's it.
So you have to give permission to yourself to stop. So sometimes we really want to be helpful because I think it's part of our profession to be helpful. And in overextending, we don't realize that we already have a lot of things on our plates. Just the mere fact of getting a lot of these invitations to be in a lot of Zoom meetings, At first, I really wanted to be in all of those because I thought that it would also be part of additional learning for me. But it also got to a point where, I was doing it already out of obligation and not because I wanted to. So I told myself that it's okay to say no, and just to really stick to what I can do, and that would offer more fulfillment. So, guys, yes, know when to stop so that we can pause and allow space for more meaningful things. Okay, the next one, I think we have four more. Um, so F would be to flex, so break free. So we're now in FREE. So flex means learning to bend and allow failure. So how do you understand this? Oftentimes we're afraid of failure, and that's why we overthink, I guess. And because we don't want failure to be in the equation. But now we realize that certain processes and systems may not work, and but still people are not comfortable with failure and they blame themselves too much. Okay, are you able to bend and learn from failure?
I think there were a lot of learnings this during this time. Like I said, being home, working from home, and trying to figure out, because I work at the Office for Student Affairs, so trying to also help figure out things on how we can better help our students. There were a lot of lessons to be learned. There are a lot of lessons learned over this whole 2020. I think being flexible and being more forgiving is something that I hope to continue on this coming 2021, or this 2021 rather.
Well, on my end, I think the big one of the adjustments that we experience as part of the academe is the shift to online classes. While I'm well, a little bit tech savvy, I think I also had a difficult time because I got used to face, and I think that's one of the, like, adjusting to this is one of the manifestations of having an adaptable disposition, in terms of all the changes that's happening around us. And of course, when you talk about failure, like, the little things that, for example, before I would think that if I don't check everything on my to-do list, I'm a failure. But now I realize, like, with all the things happening, that work doesn't stop, and this was mentioned a while ago in our conversation, that it's okay that we pause, it's okay that we rest, but not quit. And work can wait. If it can wait, it can wait. So yeah, I think that's one of the things I learned, that you don't have to check everything on your checklist.
That's true. And
Word.
I remember a guest that we had in one of our episodes. She said that the only energy that you have is the energy for today. So don't do other things because, I mean, let's say if it's still for tomorrow or the days after, don't try not to do it in advance because the energy for those has not come yet, because the energy that is with you right now is the energy for today, for you to be able to do the tasks for today. And I really found that very helpful. Yes, Sir Jillies?
It was stressful when the semester started because I am teaching production classes, and for production classes we have to be together when we do the production. So it's really stressful. So I had to bend in a way on how to um, uh, change a lot of things that I've been doing when I was teaching production to adapting to this new setup. So there were some good things that happened, but there were also some things that I think I need to improve on. So I don't try to zoom in on those things that I need to improve on, but rather for next sem, I'll be teaching another production class. So I've learned from the things that I had to improve on from the first semester. So that's a good way for me to improve how I teach and deliver the lessons to my students. Yeah.
That's right. And we always hear the word the new normal, and that by just that term, it means it's new. So it's something that we're not familiar with. So we should really expect some hiccups along the way. And that's why I like our community so much, our school, because it really tries to listen to people, how it checks in on how students are faring with our online platform. It also checks on our teachers to see if they have adequate support. And you can really see there that though the processes and systems may not be perfect, but you see the genuine intention of people to really make it good for others. And so for that, I'm also very grateful to our institution. Okay, the next one would be reach out to others. Okay, so it's of course not only about ourselves, but if people do come to us, then it would be good to just offer maybe reflective listening. Sometimes we want to offer solutions when in fact they only need someone to listen to them, and to maybe we can do this by paraphrasing what they say so that they know that we understand them. Okay, and it helps to do away with judgment, especially if it's young people who are very eager to tell you stories. It's best not to judge, because otherwise they will find other people to talk to if we apply our adult ways on them. And the next would be to empathize. Many people are not really feeling well these days, and though we probably feel good most part of the time, there are people who struggle, and we try to avoid statements like, "Oh, you can do this," or try to move on, because that they don't need that. They need us to learn, no, not really to learn, but to see also how they're experiencing life from their end. So though we are in the same storm, we might not be in the same boat, something like that. Okay, so how are you able to practice this in your lives?
I think when in terms of reaching out to others, reflective and active listening, um I agree with Dr. Gill that sometimes we don't have to offer solutions, and just being there for a friend is already more than enough. And I was able to actually cite one experience. My best friend who's living overseas one time messaged me, and I called her immediately because she was having like challenges in terms of quitting her job. And with the pandemic, she was scared that people might judge her, or she might not be able to find another job. And I told her, go, sige, just tell me how you feel. And I think that conversation lifted her spirit after that. And yeah, now she left that job and she's happy. She found another job, so all of her anxieties didn't happen as well. And if our viewers remember, a while ago Dr. Gill talked about psychological first aid, so I was able to apply that as well in that conversation. So sometimes you just need someone who they can lean on, no matter what the distance or the platform is.
Yes, because usually people already know the solutions to their problems. So when they come to you, they already know what they want. But to be able to do a catharsis will be good for them. And so if you are the one on the receiving end, you really don't have to give advice, but just allow them to speak. However, sometimes we're wired to give solutions. So we try to stop also ourselves from giving solutions.
Yeah, for me, I think my experience with my husband, when I try to tell him something, his automatic response is to give me a solution. So we're working on that. Even for me, when he tells me something, it feels like he's asking for my advice, but in reality, he is just talking to me and expressing these concerns or whatever it is that that's bothering him. So we are working on that. I think one important thing for me is that to reach out to the people within my own particular space of influence, and that's my immediate family. And of course, the rest of the community, specifically our students who come to me also for different things, and to just help them also throughout this time. But definitely working on reflective listening. I'm so guilty of this, and not to be judgmental, and to help and to become more empathetic as well. So I'm not saying that I have it all figured out in this area.
For
Yes,
me,
when people come to you, sometimes they're angry or they feel bad about something. I think the worst that we can do is make them feel that it's wrong to be angry or it's wrong to feel bad about it, because those are the emotions that they're feeling at the moment. So to make them feel guiltier by because they're angry or they're upset or they're mad at someone or they dislike someone, it's not really for us to judge. So just allow them. Okay. Sergio Bees?
for me, there are lots of negativity in social media. So, like what I shared earlier, when I see something that's really off, I try to reach out by encouraging them, giving them encouraging words. And through my feed, I try as much as possible to just share things that are encouraging for other people. So for those who were able to read those encouraging words will help people also, whatever they're going through, to empathize with them.
Yes, sometimes the quotations that you give, direct Gilbys, and the passages are really helpful. Those are things that, answers, quick answers to what is on in people's minds. And so I encourage you to continue that in 2021. Okay, our last two tips. I think the next one would be environment check. Okay, so a lot of us have become plantitos and plantitas, and we've given extra attention to our pets, not because they need it, but we need it. And I also found that cleaning your space also declutters your mind. And if you see a lot of mess, it somehow makes you feel sad. So I try to clean a lot. I've been cleaning a lot during this pandemic.
Me too, miss.
Yeah.
We're cleaning a lot. And for this Christmas break, we are going to schedule each day an area of the house that we're going to be cleaning for before the new year starts. So there's a fresh start for the new year for all of us. So we're scheduling that this
Yes, I
break.
think we'll do that too. Having one focus of a space in your house one at a time.
Decluttering helps also with your mind, because when you see a lot of clutter and messy things around the house, it also affects you emotionally, right? So we totally Marie Kondoed the house. So we totally got rid of things that did not spark joy in our lives. So the good thing about it is that it wasn't useful for us anymore, but it was useful to other people. So we started giving away a lot of things, and they would tell us how they used it, and it sparked joy, right? So that's one thing that we definitely did, and we hope to continue, and to also be mindful of the things that we buy. Like when we buy things, I mean, there are like online shopping like Lazada and Shopee, the 12 to 12, 11 11, all those sales, right? So being more mindful, like how long will I use this thing? Do I really need it? What what will it contribute to our family's life? So those are the things. Paying attention to our
to the plants. Oh my goodness, I did not know I have a green thumb. I started growing vegetables because I wanted to do something different to distract me from all the negativity. So I started off with squash, and our entire garden was covered in like this whole vine, the vines of this, parang si Cinderella, you know, the from the movie Cinderella, bigla na lang yung mga squash, naggapang-gapang. So, and then, you know, we've grown so much vegetable, and that has helped us also to save money because we don't have to buy okra, we don't have to buy talong, um, Chinese kale, parsley, basil. So all these expensive herbs and spices that you buy in the grocery, we don't have to buy that anymore. And Mikael too, my son, you know, he's enjoyed the garden as well, and he loves to see the worms. So that's us, and I hope to continue that. You know, this
So it's an
2020.
educational experience for the whole family. And
That's
you
right.
realize also if you take care of plants, that plants have different personalities. Like some would like to be indoor, outdoor, they don't like water, or they like a lot of water. And you then you realize that they're really alive, and you have to deal with them differently the way you do with your pets.
Yeah, my wife thought she also had she doesn't she believed that she doesn't have a green thumb, but since the pandemic, since she was able to read through different plants, she was able to take care of the plants, and we ate, like what Miss Mirma said, a vegetable pechay from our plant garden. So she thought she doesn't have a green thumb, but it's not. You just need to educate and get to know your plants. That's the key.
Well, on my end, because I'm not a plant person, so I veer away from plants. But living with my aunt as well, I
We
was
will
so
get
amazed.
there someday.
I was so amazed that she was able to also put up a garden here. So when I see yung mga bunga, natutuwa ako. Parang, oh, is that real? Is that happening? Like, I can see the basil, I can see the tomato growing. And like, as a plant person, yeah, it's fun to look at. And the sile, so sometimes I get there and we have like malunggay here. So yeah, it's awesome to know, but I
Yes,
just
it's
eat
really
it. I
awesome.
just eat it. I
when,
don't
when you
grow it.
see when you see a seed sprouting to a little plant, that's a
Yeah,
magical moment.
agree. And
Peeping peeping in from the soil, you see a green thing.
yes,
Those
true.
are
And
pockets of peace.
yeah, so I just like to look at it. But in terms of cleaning my space, I would be honest that I'm a hoarder. So that's sometimes the cause of argument between my mom and I, because my closet right now is like a Pandora's box if you open it. So I have stuff from like way back in college. So I'm still working on it, and that's one of my goals before the year ends, since I have to rummage through my closet and see what I can
Right.
bring when I leave the country next year. I have to work on that. Yep.
Thank you. Okay, and then our last tip for breaking free would be to elevate to God, which is the most important and where we anchor everything on. So we pray, we meditate, and we know the reason for the season and the season of 2021, what it will bring us would be, of course, more clear to us if we pray and meditate. So, any of your thoughts on this?
Me, miss, that's why I wake up early. I try to meditate in the morning, pray and meditate. I read my Bible as much as I can every morning before starting my day and before starting work. And that helps me a lot not to overthink over the day, and to also find time to rest within the day. So that's my meditation time in the early in the morning. So that's why
So,
I
early in
wake
the
up
morning
early.
meditation works best for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Okay, Soda?
Well, for me, in terms of praying, there's a group in MC, School of the Word, where Dr. Gail and I are also part of, and
And
Miss
also
Mirma.
Mirma.
Yes, so that's like every 2 weeks, and I think joining that group also me like navigate my way through life. Just reflecting on the word and I'm um yeah, so and in terms of praying as well, I have a silent moment before I sleep. So like I thank God for like giving me another day to live. What are the three things, five things I'm grateful for? So I do that silently. And yeah, it's my way of communicating with the higher being.
I'm sorry, I just like to share because Soda mentioned before we sleep, we also pray together as a family,
Yeah.
but we also have a BOTD, blessing of the day.
Wow.
Mm,
So we share that blessing of the
So they do
day
it
with each
daily?
other. So yes, before we sleep, before we pray
Yes,
together as a family, we have our
those family
BOTD.
rituals are very important. Your kids will remember you for that. We also have something like that where we say what they are grateful for. And though I think at first my husband found it corny, now he shares more than everyone else.
yeah. For us, for our family, we also have the prayer time at night. Mikael is now 3, so he has his own prayer at night. So we train him. Sometimes he repeats the word, that we coach him with, but most of the time he just says "Amen," the last part, which is good. And I think it's also helpful that we're able to watch the Sunday service from our church. We're able to watch it together with the entire family. I think that's one day in the week that we're all gathered in one space. Usually with the entire week, someone is in the room, some are in the kitchen, all doing other things. But it's that particular day, a Sunday, every 10 a.m. we come together and we watch the worship service together, and that helps us. Um, and then, of course, daily prayers. For Sir Gilby's, it's early in the morning. For me, it's usually at nighttime. And in between the days, when I'm doing something or when I'm just cooking or, doing household chores, I think saying a little prayer has also helped me become more grateful as a person, and not and being more content. I think the word content is key for me this entire year, finding contentment in the small things and also in the big things, and knowing that God is in control no matter the situation. So that's something that I'd like to continue to strengthen this 2021.
Yes, definitely. This is something that we want to all continue for 2021. It's making really God the anchor in everything that we do, and making Him central in all the things that we want to accomplish for ourselves and for others. Um, I heard someone say that someone asked, "Is God in the prime time of your day, or is He just in the extra part of your day when you have time? Then you think of God." So I think it should be intentional that God should be in the prime time and not just in the extra time of our day, and it's something that we want to work on. So I think that's it. Our team, and at this point, I'd like to express my gratitude and appreciation to each and every one of you for making my year really feel blessed. I'm blessed by your friendship, and I'm honored that I'm able to do something meaningful with all of you, and I am grateful for this year because of you guys.
Thank you, Dr. Gail. It's been an awesome 2020 with the Peaceful Classroom Group. I'm also if I may also just thank everyone, Sir Gilby, Soda, and of course Dr. Gail, for all the lessons learned and for helping me conquer so many challenges, like so many overthinking challenges. Kaya ko ba to? Nagagawa ko ba siya ng tama? So your words of affirmation and encouragement is truly helpful in breaking away those chains. So maraming salamat to our peaceful classroom, and of course to our guests, all the guest speakers that we've had over the past. How many episodes have you had? Parang 18?
For now, 18,
Yeah,
yes,
18 episodes. So, and more to come, right, Dr. Gail?
definitely.
I'm thankful for Dr. Gill for giving me this opportunity to be part of this endeavor, this peaceful classroom, our peaceful classroom, because I'm able to apply my skills as well, but at the same time, um, encourage other people who needs these messages, who to amplify these messages to people who needs these encouraging words. So thank you, Dr. Gil. Thank you, Soda, and thank you, Miss Nirma, for also the friendship for this past year. The Cocktails Club is also a blessing to me for this year. Sabi ko kay Dr. Gil nung nag-thank you siya, parang naiiyak talaga ako. And every time I think of this, parang this is really memorable for me, and I'm able to be with a group um, that I share the same passions with. So thank you for this opportunity. Yeah.
Well, for me, I add my thanks as well for this awesome opportunity to be part of this production team, and of course the learning. I learned from all of you. You guys, Dr. Gail, Sir Gilvis, Miss Mirma, you are my mentors in this endeavor, and I look forward to having more meaningful and exciting things ahead of us. So I wish you all good health and more blessings to come. Thank you very much, our peaceful classroom. Yeah.
Okay, and Soda, we wish you good luck for 2021 in your new adventure, and we are delighted that you will still be part of our peaceful classroom, even if you will be oceans away. And that will provide a different dimension to our team. And we are very, very excited for that. And we also thank Dr. Loretta Castro for being our inspiration, for being our example of peace, and for encouraging us all the time to do our best and just to do what we can. And we are also thankful for Ambassador Lula del Rosario for putting our group together, for coining our name, the Cocktails Club, which has something to do with our names,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
And it's just a very happy club that we have, and we are all grateful for that. So that's it for today. Thank you, and we look forward to 2021. See you again in our sacred space, our peaceful classroom. Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.